At this point, finding a job is dehumanizing. I was laid off a year ago in November 2023, and I was lucky enough to find a new job 4 months later. I got my job through a referral. I had a friend that worked at the company that I work at, and saw the position and sent it to me immediately, referred me immediately, and so got the job. She has actually since been laid off from the company, and I'm still there. And I've really just been, through supporting her through her finding a new job and just watching all these layoff videos and having friends that have been laid off. At this point, finding a new job is literally dehumanizing. There are people on LinkedIn, there are people on the internet who are literally begging. They're begging for a job. They've been laid off for 6 months to a year and a half, and they're not finding anything. People are struggling to pay their bills. People are struggling to provide for their families. And folks, these are white collar jobs. These are people who have college degrees, who have master's degrees. It's those of us who were told that if we went to college and, we got our degrees and we did everything, we would be fine and we would be financially successful, only to come into this post-COVID job market, even during COVID, this post-COVID, during COVID job market that is literally cutting people and treating people as if we are just machines. I have so much empathy for people who are looking for a job right now. And it's also not lost on me that I could, be laid off again, unfortunately. I have friends who've been laid off multiple times. And it just feels inhumane at this point to be looking for a job. So if you are looking for a job right now, I hear you. I see you. I was you. I was you for 4 months, which even thinking about even just being laid off for 4 months, that was a lot shorter than a lot of people are currently experiencing. And I was very lucky. But I hear you. I see you. I value you. Stay in the fight, because it's really ridiculous out there.
I made a viral video last year about the state of the job market and how broken it is. Now I'm back on the job hunt again, and it's somehow gotten worse. Let's just run through it. Ghosting is the norm. You spend hours crafting your CV, writing perfect cover letters, tailoring it to the job, only to hear nothing back. Not even a thanks, but no thanks, nothing. You hear nothing back. Pay has regressed. I'm seeing positions asking for 5 years experience in creative and management work that is paying less than I was earning in my junior position 2 years ago. And remote jobs, don't even get me fucking started. That's just the norm now. Apparently that now means remote, but only within commuting distance of an overpriced office in London. At that point, why not just say we're looking for somebody in London and stop wasting everybody's time? I don't get it. Then you've got the culture fit bullshit. Companies keep asking for people who can hit the ground running, wear many hats, and bring their whole self to work, but they're paying you peanuts and expecting miracles. They usually have a we're a family vibe, and then you're the unpaid intern cousin that never even gets invited to the family dinner. And look, I am able-bodied, I am neurotypical, and I am relatively privileged. And if I am finding this job hunt hard, I cannot possibly imagine what it must be like for someone with chronic illness, mobility issues, or any disability under the sun. It is bleak out here. I've got friends telling me that they've applied for over 100 jobs in a month and heard nothing back, not even a whisper. They haven't even had an update on the section on Indeed that gives you an update status. Nothing. This isn't even a job hunt anymore, it's just like a hope-crushing lottery. On the last video, I got a lot of hatred saying that I wasn't trying hard enough, or I was overqualified, or I was underqualified for certain jobs, and it was truly soul-crushing because these people said it isn't hard to get a job, and yet they are comfortable in their positions, or they're 16 and they don't need to. And it was just truly mind-blowing that so little people in this country, and in the comments of that video, had empathy for anybody going through that struggle. So yeah, I'm documenting the process again. And hopefully together we'll feel slightly less insane about our job hunt. So if you're out there too, applying, scrolling, refreshing inboxes, you are not alone. Drop a comment, vent, commiserate, because this system is broken, and until it changes, at least we're in this together.
I don't think people realize how dehumanizing this job market is, especially if you're not even looking for a job right now. I've been employed for 6 months now, and I have applied to so many jobs. I can't even count each other I've applied to by now. I have tried everything, and people are like, oh, did you try this website? Did you try this one? Yes, I have tried everything. I'm not an idiot. I'm literally just begging for a job. I will literally do anything. Either I'm too qualified, or I'm not qualified enough, or I don't hear back. I've applied to so many jobs where I've gone to the final rounds of interviews. I have invested so much time into them, and either I don't get the job or I just get ghosted completely. I've reached out to so many people to get referrals, to share my information. I've networked like crazy. Having to say yourself every single day, many times a day, it's exhausting only to keep hearing no, 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 no. I get it. I feel like at this point, I'm never gonna get a job. Like, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I went to college, I got my degree from a good school. I grinded at my last jobs. I've had so many achievements in my career development. And it's like, why can I still not get a job? It should not have to be this hard. Like, this job market is dehumanizing. It can't just be me. Like, I'm trying to stay hopeful, but like, what am I supposed to do?
I'm sorry for the way that I look right now, but I've just been crying for the past, hour. Mostly because, the job market absolutely sucks. And I did 5 45-minute interviews, just to be let down. And I know that's life and that happens. It's more so lately I just feel destined to lose. And to give you some background, I got laid off back in July, and I've been searching for so many jobs. I probably applied for 300 of them, and it's just been horrible. And there's this one company that I actually really wanted to work at, and I did 5 whole interviews, and I got 98% confirmation I did not get the job, and it just puts me back at step 1 again, and it's just so defeating. So defeating, and it's so hard to stay strong, and I just always have to tell myself, it's okay, there's things out there for you, and sorry, it's just really, really hard. Especially because, I made food, and I was really excited, and then I got, a little hit. I can't say how I know, but someone internal saw that, I'm most likely not going to get it, and I don't even want to eat the food, and it's just horrible because I want to eat, and it's so hard to take care of yourself, especially when you're down. And I don't know why I'm making this video, honestly, but I hope that, my goal for this video is, I hope that someone else who's experiencing this, just know that it's gonna be okay, hopefully. And I'm trying to keep my head up, but yeah, if you're also in my position, I'm there with you. Yeah. Anywho, hopefully something happens, because I don't want to be unemployed for a year. It's just really, really hard.
I don't think most people realize how dehumanizing it is to be unemployed in the current job market, especially if the reason that you don't have a job is not necessarily your fault. If you've never thought about it before, every single aspect of your life is tied to your job. Your ability to go out with your friends, have dinner, see a movie, tied to your job. Your ability to have healthcare and see your doctor, tied to your job. Your ability to go to therapy, tied to your job. Your ability to do literally anything that costs money, tied to your job. So then when your job is taken away and you no longer have a source of income, it's horrible. You have people out here who just went to college, or maybe have been out of college for a year. They thought they did what you're supposed to do. They tell you, oh, if you go to college, you're going to be able to get a career. You're going to find a job super easily. And these people have been out of college for a year and they can't find a job. And then you have people like me who have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree and got their first job back in 2013. And I can't find a job. I don't know what happened and when it switched, but I used to get every single job that I applied for. Okay? I was always the person at my jobs who trained the new employees, and now I can't find a job. I went from having a manager who would buy me cupcakes and a director who would send me Christmas presents to that manager then being replaced by the Wicked Witch of the West. And because of her, I no longer have a job. And I have been searching and searching for months. I've applied to more jobs than I have ever applied to in my entire life, and I can't find anything because there are more fake jobs on LinkedIn than there are real jobs. So before you ask that unemployed person in your life why they haven't found a job yet, maybe consider that we are trying. We're trying. But the job market is different. And unless you have been there and you have experienced how hard it is to find a job right now, you need to stop asking me why I haven't found a job, because I'm losing my mind.
I don't get how there are people out there that say like nobody wants to work, yet there are people like me who graduated almost 2 years ago and have submitted over 1,500 job applications. And I still don't have a job. I've been doing like side work and social media and stuff to pay the bills. But if it wasn't for that, I'd be homeless. I'd probably be homeless, completely broke. But 1,500 job applications, and I've gotten maybe 20 or so interviews, I guess. I've been to the second round a whopping 5 times. 5 times in 1,500 job applications. Or 1,200. I don't even know. I stopped counting after 1,000. But in 2025, I'm boggled that anyone is getting a job in this market, and people are still saying that nobody wants to work. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a master's degree and I can't even get a job. College is a complete scam. Do not go. Save yourself the money.
I got rejected from a company I did 6 rounds with. I did a recruiter call, a coding assessment, and then I met the manager, and then I met 2 of the team members, and then I met the VP. All within 2 weeks. They were very quick, so I know that they liked me. And the manager said that I was a little overqualified because of my master's, and several of the engineers there said that it seemed like I would be a great fit with my background and everything. So this company is in healthcare and machine learning, and that is exactly my background. And I've worked at like the best medical device company and have like a great education within machine learning, so it seems like everything was going to line up. I also feel like I got along with the team really well. But anyways, after my last interview, they made me wait for 3 weeks, and they strung me along for each of those weeks. Each week they'd send me an update like the recruiter would, saying, hey, you're still in the final round, you're top of mind, we're just finishing up some other interviews before we make a decision. And then after exactly 21 days, they just like auto rejected me. After 6 interviews and all that back and forth, just like an auto reject email. Whatever, I had another offer anyways, but I'm pretty just shocked at like what corporate America is. And I know for sure that I know it isn't me, because I know my background was really great, but I'm just like shocked that they treat people that way after like 6 hours of interviews. And like the coding assessment was also multiple hours. Like after all that time and like bending over and like fast scheduling, I feel like people should get paid to interview at this point, because it's so much work. And this is not the first time that I've done like 6 or 7 rounds with a company, including even going on site. One company I went on site twice and was in like Silicon Valley traffic for hours. I don't know, the market is so bad, and I feel like companies are taking advantage of people, and I just don't know why it's ever necessary to do 6 rounds of interviews with someone after you already know their background and education, and if they have like really great experience. I just don't understand why companies are being that extra. I feel like all that matters is that they're nice and that they work hard. That's all I feel like should matter. And it also seems like companies these days like want you to literally have done that job before you go there. Like in my case, I feel like if there's like one thing that I don't know or one thing that I don't have experience with, it's like a problem. But like so much stuff you learn on the job anyways, I don't know. And I think if a company's gonna reject you, I think at the very least they should tell you why. Like they shouldn't say that bullshit about we found someone whose qualifications aligned more closely to the role, because that's not true. There are so many people who are even equally qualified, and there's so many factors. Like you should be honest. It can take a person's confidence away to like indicate that they might not be very qualified when they could even be overqualified. I don't know, I'm just annoyed, and that company lost a really good addition that they could have had. What's also funny is the day before I got rejected, I just had a feeling that they kind of all forgot about me. So I wrote this like long email to the recruiter just saying, hey, I would love to stay top of mind as you move towards making a final decision. And these are some things that stuck out to me from the interview process that make me know that I would be a really great fit. And I feel like I'd be just a great fit for the team. So like, please share this with them. And the funny thing is I auto sent it, like I scheduled it to send it 8 a.m. the next day. And then the next day I woke up at like 7:30 and I saw that they had sent me a rejection email at 6:30, but I still let it send anyways, because at least I think the recruiter's going to be confused. I might play a little bit and just act like I didn't see that email and just keep pressing, because I think at the very least he should feel a little awkward, or at least a little bad for what he has done, like stringing me along for 3 weeks. Like, what? That's so rude. Anyways, that's my update. I really hope recruiters do better. That's all.
I'm just gonna hop on here to vent about something real quick, but I'm like really annoyed about how we act like grad school is sort of like the end all be all to having like a successful career. Like, you just go to grad school and then everything works out. I went to law school, and I went to a top 14 law school, and I feel like law school people consider it to be like a pretty stable like career path. Like, you go to law school and you're pretty much guaranteed a job and a career and blah 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 blah. And the thing about law school is that a lot of the job stuff happens while you're still in school. Like, especially if you're going to a big law firm, like, you do on-campus interviews after your first year, and then you get a summer associateship, and then you get an offer, and then you just have a job. And like, for people who aren't doing that, you know, they apply for jobs their 3L year, but then you graduate with a job. And so I did OCI, and I got a big law job, and was a summer associate, got an offer, and then started working when I graduated last year, in September. But there wasn't a ton of work my entire time that I was there. And so I ended up getting laid off. And I got severance, and whatever. But now that I've been looking for a job for a little bit, it's like I'm really annoyed, because I feel like I have all the boxes checked, and yet it doesn't seem like it's enough. Like, I went to a top 14 law school. I got hired at and worked at a like top 30, I don't even know the ranking, but a good and a huge law firm. Was laid off, and then I'm in this really weird position where, like I said, a lot of the hiring for juniors, for like entry level positions, happens when you're in law school, and I was like laid off before I fully finished my first year, so I don't even have a year of experience under my belt, and I'm laid off, so I'm looking for a job, and all the positions that like I'm qualified for are taken by students who are about to graduate and go into these positions, or who just graduated and are going to go into these positions, who just took the bar. And so there's not a lot of positions for me as still a first year to apply for. A lot of them are like mid-level positions, like you have to have at least like 1 or 2 or 3 years of experience, and obviously like I don't, but there's just not a lot of stuff out there for me. Like, the whole model of how they do their hiring doesn't really account for what happens if you get let go or don't like your job, or whatever happens, but you don't stay in your job for the whole first year. Like, there's not a lot of places to bounce to. But it's like, I went to such a great school, I did well at that school, I got a great job, and like, none of this set me up for being able to move to another job super easily. And what also really bothers me and maybe this is on me, I don't know, but I just feel like it wasn't really like expressed or conveyed well in school, was that like a lot of these jobs want you to have experience in that type of law. And in law school, like, I don't know, it's just kind of like when you're going to undergrad. Like, you don't necessarily know what major you want. You just kind of pick something that sounds cool. So, like, the type of law you want to do is going to might change. I mean, you might know what you want to do, but then you might do it and you might change your mind. And so for me, like, I was in general transactional, and I want to go into litigation. I don't have enough experience in transactional where I feel like I'm pigeonholed, so I figure this is a great opportunity to pivot. But now I'm also seeing a lot of jobs that are kind of like for junior associates in litigation, but they want me to have at least a year of litigation experience, and I don't have a year of any experience, let alone litigation. I started in transactional, and there's just not a lot of like room for people to switch around, especially early on in their career, which really bothers me. And so I just find myself in this really annoying position where I don't have enough experience to get a lot of the jobs that are out there, but I need a job. But like all the jobs that I'm qualified for are like already accounted for law students who are about to graduate or who have just graduated. So people like below me. So there's just a lot of openings. And then there's also the jobs that I want, like the type of law that I want to do that I might not have gotten a chance to do through OCI, but now I want to pivot to. Those jobs want me to have some of that experience, but how was I supposed to get that if I didn't already start doing that out of law school? So it's like, you're just like, I just feel like there's not a lot of flexibility, and they don't really explain that well when you're in law school, that like, you kind of have to be discerning about the type of law that you want to do. Otherwise it takes a little bit to like switch around. And obviously I know that the job market is also really bad right now, so that's another thing. There's just not an abundance of options, but it's just like, it's a really shitty situation. And I'm just really annoyed because, again, just venting, but it's like, you do all the right things. You go to a good school, you get a good job, you know, you try your hardest, blah, 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 and then still can be in a position like this where you're laid off looking for a job, and it just seems like you're in this weird, like, limbo where you just don't really happen to qualify for what's out there, even though, like, by all means, by all accounts, whatever, I'm a good candidate. And maybe, like, if the market were better, I wouldn't be having this problem, but it's just, like, frustrating. Like, I'm a recent grad, good school, good grades. Literally, my last employer is, like, a big, well-respected firm, and I just feel like I'm being passed over by literally everyone. It's just really frustrating, but whatever. Just wanted to vent. If you're looking for a job out there, good luck. Fingers crossed for you. Cross your fingers for me. It'll work out. It always does. But it's just like, goddamn, you know?
And another thing, because this gets me heated, unless you've been on a job search in the last 2 years, you do not know how bad it is out here. The job market is trash. Basura, it's been bad. I'm talking about applying to 20 jobs a day, reaching out to recruiters, doing this on LinkedIn, and hearing crickets. People are trying. People are not lazy. And then people who have a job give the most useless advice, like, why don't you tailor your resume to every single job? You don't think that I've done that? Unless your job is hiring and you have a referral, zip it.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with the job market right now, but are we just being actively replaced by AI or robots? Because I don't understand how this many employers are looking for jobs, but this many employers are hiring. I'm overqualified for half the jobs I'm applying to. What do you mean you need 3+ years of experience to go to an entry-level position? Where do you expect anyone to learn these entry-level position jobs if you're not giving people the opportunity to gain experience in entry-level position jobs? It just doesn't make sense to me, and I feel like somewhere along the way from COVID, we forgot that we can actually teach people how to do jobs. Like, if you hire someone with little to no experience, you can just train them. Like, I feel like employers are not giving employees enough credit for the things up here, brains. We can learn. We can do things. Because tell me why I've applied to 98 jobs, bro. 98. I have a wonderful resume. 98 jobs in the past 3 weeks. Had 2 interviews. 0 positions got. Because I didn't have experience. And they explicitly said that in my email saying I didn't get the job. What do you mean, bro? It's front desk. What is that hard about front desk, bro? Like, not a lot. I'm just frustrated. It's impossible to make money. Like, where's this $5,000 check, Donald Trump? I'm waiting for it. All this to say, I have an interview on Monday. Everyone cross your fingers for me. I have experience in this area, so fingers crossed.
I still can't believe how many people are underestimating how cooked the 2025 job market is. I saw this post from a recruiter in my network, and this is what she said. I recently received this email after applying for a technical recruiter position that had over 2,000 applicants and 150 direct messages for one position. This is a clear sign of how competitive the market is right now. While it's never easy to see another no, it's a reminder that it's not about lack of experience or ability. It's about the overwhelming volume of talented people in the market right now. So if you're out there applying, interviewing, or quietly wondering if it's just you, it's not. The market is incredibly tough right now, and at this stage, it often just comes down to the numbers and timing. All this to say, keep going, keep networking, the right fit is out there. Guys, this is a recruiter. And when recruiters are struggling to find work, that is not a good sign for the rest of us. And just for confirmation, in the email that she got in the rejection, they were the ones that said, we've received 2,000 applications and 150 messages. They were the ones that let her know that it wasn't to do with her being a bad candidate or not qualified. It's just a terrible job market. So stop underestimating the 2025 job market.
People transferring, people getting fired, people quitting, but nobody getting replaced, bro. Like, so which means it's one you doing 5 people's job and you getting paid the same amount. Now I gotta go in there and break, take out all these trash. I'm gonna take 3 hours doing that. No, bro. And they gonna be doing putaways, and I gotta pack bags. Nigga, that's 3 people's job. One person doing it. I used to do that before, but not no more. If the company worth $40 billion, I'm getting paid 60, 75, bro. Like, come on now. Something gotta give, baby. You gotta pay me to work, nah. I'm not no slave. It's like, bro. That's why sometimes when I really leave work, I don't want to talk to nobody. It's not personal, man. I just be like, I just put my phone on D&D and just go to the gym and work out, bro. And go home, sleep, and come back to work again. I got a social life, bro. I go to the gym. I go and go with my mans at time, boxing gym or whatnot. But it's just like it's too much, bro. That's why it's not personal, bro. But like sometimes I can't be at 20 places at once. It's only one me, for God's sake. This job is some BS, bro.
Most people don't understand why the job market is as bad as it is right now, and it's great questions like this that are just one of the features why you need to pay attention if you want to get hired. So as a 20-year career coaching veteran who worked in staffing and recruiting, I'm going to shed some light to you on the complexities of this particular job market. So first of all, you need to understand that the number of people looking for work is actually out of control. The unemployment rate does not accurately reflect the number of underemployed people we have in the US, as well as the number of people who have already gone through their unemployment, and then therefore they don't count them anymore. They retire them in that number. So statistically speaking, and depending on research, most people are saying that the unemployment rate is well over 7% when you factor in those additional individuals. And underemployment's a real problem in this country right now. So many people doing part-time jobs or in jobs that are lower than what they were getting before, which is financially hurting them, okay? To your question, yes, there are a lot of people in jobs right now looking for work. However, the number of jobs posted, the JOLT report just came out, that's Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey, that just came out and said, we have the lowest number of job openings posted since 2021. Also, the number of people leaving jobs is called churn. is the lowest it's been. So yeah, tons of people looking for jobs, but they're not leaving because they can't find them either, okay? Really, really bad. And the third data point that people can't wrap their heads around, do you remember when the Great Quit was going on and everyone was running around and telling you there were 2 jobs for every 1 person? Well, the JOLTS report that came out also just revealed that if you take the government's unemployment rate of 3.8%, and they say there's about 1.3 jobs for those people. But if the reality is it's really more like 7% when you factor in all the underemployed and people who they retired out of that number, then that puts it at about 0.7 jobs per person. And let's not forget that those jobs that are available, many of them are in like construction or labor, things that many people can't do, or are in locations where people can't get to, or frankly are just jobs that people don't really want and they're trying to hold out for the type of job they do want. This whole thing makes for the most crazy job market I've ever seen in my 20 plus years as a career coach. Worse than 2008. So yeah, it's hard right now. And then you add in all the bogus jobs that are posted that people are applying to that they're never even going to hear from, the ghosting that's going on. It is a hot mess. But here's the thing, and I'm so glad you're following me and asking questions. The solution in this whole chaos is the fact that there are companies that are still hiring and you can get a job if you have the right techniques. The way that you've been looking for work up until now might have worked previously. It will not work in a market like this. Different times call for different tactics. And so you need to step back and inventory your situation and figure out where you can be doing things differently. There is an ignorance tax that we all pay. When we're not getting the results we're looking for in our life, no matter what we're doing, there is an ignorance tax, meaning if we were to learn certain things, it would reveal to us a new path, a new way of getting the results we want. How many times in your life has some new information, some aha moment completely shifted the results that you got? Job search is no different. So if you are not looking to learn new things and trying to find different approaches to this problem of job search, then you're not going to get the results you're looking for. And that's why I'm so glad you're here, because you posting this comment means hopefully you're following me, you're watching my TikToks, and you will keep asking questions, because the one way I can help all of you in this absolutely horrific market is to empower you with knowledge. Knowledge is power, and it will help you get the job you want and deserve if you just keep at it. My company's called Work It Daily for a reason. If you can just keep going at it a little bit each day, you're going to close your gaps in knowledge and you're going to get the results you're looking for. Okay, my friend? Good luck. Go get them.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do not think the corporate job market is going to get better anytime soon. As a recruiter, there would be nothing more than I would love to see every single company hiring more and more people and less job seekers desperately searching for jobs. But in reality, what I've been seeing and what big companies have been communicating is really simple. They are looking to get more done with less people. How will they accomplish this? Well, they're going to use AI, automation, and technology. And so we are seeing companies that historically have hired hundreds and thousands of people, not only not hiring as many people, but also cutting down on their internal teams. That's what Starbucks has done. That's what Nissan has been doing. That's what tons of other companies are doing right now. They are literally getting rid of the middle management layer of employees and either replacing them with technology or finding and hiring less people and augmenting them with technology. I think this is going to create a lot less hiring in the next few years and create an even tougher job market. Let me know what you think in the comments.
There's such a risk that I'm going to sound like a boomer, so please forgive me in advance. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I keep seeing videos of people my age, I turned 23 today, of people saying like they can't find a job, and I totally empathize because it took me forever to find my job, and like that's just how it is. Like it took me forever. I applied to literally anything I could think of. But I'm seeing some people who are like, I graduated a year ago, still can't find a job. Okay, I'm going to say something controversial, but I don't think it should be. You, at our age and in this market and in our society, we don't have the luxury of going into what we want to, what we would specialize in, okay? My first job out of college was working at an aviation company. Like, that was not my dream. That's not what I wanted to be doing, but it was a job. It was a good job, and I knew that if I could get a job, it would be easier to get another job, which is what happened. And now I have a different job. But a lot of people are very reluctant to stray outside of the box they think they should be in, and you have to.
That one guy that came on here and said that the job market is so bad he's considering going into nursing is so me, because I have explored, I feel like, every single avenue of how I can get a job quick and that actually pays. I would never look into nursing no matter how desperate I am. I'm so sorry. But I've looked into like ultrasound, rad tech. Even though I have my degree, like my bachelor's, like I've considered going back to community college and doing the programs. But then as I did more research, I realized how competitive they are. And like even then, like for example, like a rad tech, you're exposed to the radiation. Ultrasound techs, like your wrists are always hurting because you're like constantly doing the movement or whatever. Not to mention it's healthcare. Like there's some really rude people. Let's see what else. I've considered being an ice cream man, doing the laundromat. Like, have y'all seen where they buy the laundromat or whatever? One time I even got offered a job as a dancer. Sometimes I still think about that. Because it's hell out here.
Do not quit your job unless you have a backup job. I think a lot of people think I'm overhyping how brutal the job market is. I mean, I see people in the comments all the time saying unemployment is low, everybody's hiring, you got to be lazy if you can't find a job. But that's not the reality. So if you're thinking it's just going to be easy, it's probably going to take a lot longer than you think. We're seeing the average job search take about 5 to 7 months. And that means you might be applying to hundreds and thousands of jobs, not hearing back from most of those companies, maybe landing a few interviews, but all in all, it's going to be a painful process. So if you have a job and you're not happy at your job, or you're working in a toxic work environment, don't quit unless you have a backup job, because the only thing worse than working for a toxic boss or being in a toxic work environment is being on this 2025 job market. A job search reality that nobody talks about is it's always easier to find a job when you have a job. So if you're unhappy in your job, start the job search, see what it's like out there. But in all reality, count yourself blessed that you have a job.
All right, so as you and I all know, the job market in 2024 and even 2025 is absolutely brutal. Like companies are laying people off left and right, return to office mandates. Employers just really have all the power and all the control that they can kind of do things that they want, and they can set the way that things are done. So I think ultimately this kind of stems from that post-COVID, 2020 to 2022, where we had that low interest rate environment. And now, post 2022, we have seen, interest rates grow. I think, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but probably like that whatever percent benchmark that the Federal Reserve is targeting. So, we hit that numbers to ultimately combat inflation that we saw over that COVID timeframe. But ultimately the job market, is struggling, and it kind of makes sense. We're gonna have things like a pandemic. We're going to feel those ramifications, both you and I, as a function of that. So I think ultimately what we can do is we can set aside time so that we can be the best version of ourselves. I know this sounds kind of corny, but hear me out. So ultimately you want to focus on being able to get the job and ultimately being able to deliver so that you can get paid, because you're not going to get paid if you don't know anything, you don't have a job. So ultimately you need to be able to develop a skill set that provides value. So that's going to be the first thing. Next is going to be to showcase yourself. This is going to be the marketing side of things. So things like a resume or things like a website or whatever business you're working on or whatever career path you're on, you're going to be showcasing your skills, results, and accomplishments. And then ultimately you're going to be selling yourself. You're going to be applying to jobs. You're going to be running ads on your website, things like that. So how you can improve the efficiency of any of those key points that I've mentioned is, I think, ultimately what will be able to get you more jobs or more business or more leads, more revenue, more conversions, things like that. So ultimately I think what you need to do is use things like AI, try to move faster, because the ones that are bold and make decisions really quickly and move really fast are going to be the ones that really are prepared to see success and see a lot of things coming in. So this is why I've been partnering with Massive. I've been working with Dan from Massive for about a year now, working on promoting this product, which ultimately helps to help job seekers get more jobs, land more interviews, so that they can make more money and live better lives. Because let's face it, I mean, times, 2024, 2025, we've seen, minimal wage growth. We've seen, relatively high inflation over the past few years. So I think ultimately we just need to be able to better take care of ourselves. And I think through the use of investing in tools like AI or things like that'll save you time, that'll save you a headache, and make you a more efficient, functioning person will ultimately set yourself up for success.
Working and knowing I'm about to get laid off is torture. And I'm trying to be positive. But it's like every time I get on TikTok, I'm reminded that the job market is bad. And so while I am going through this transition of losing my job and trying to get another job, I'm stressed. So I'm gonna need some help. If your job is hiring, please let me know.